Okay, welcome back to the Dublin Academy of Maths, and today it's Leaving Cert Ordinary Level Maths, Series 9, and it's a new series and we're on episode 1 and it's paper 2 questions, okay, and it's equations of a circle, so it's actually the circle, alright? So the main one is, it's all about the circle, okay, the equation of the circle. Now the next thing we're going to do is equations of circles. So there's two different types. There's this type, A, and it says this is as you notice that this circle is called a unit circle. Okay, well, not necessarily a unit circle, but it's got a center of origin 0, 0. Now, when you have it expressed like that, you know that it's got the center 0, 0. Now, if you've got r is equal to 3, or if you've got r is equal to the square root of 3, r squared is equal to 3. Okay, so if you express it that way, okay, so it'll be x squared. The equation of this line, or the name of this line, would be x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared, which is root 3, all to be squared, which is equal to root 3. Okay, which is equal to 3. Alright. Now they play with that r squared, so you have to get used to it. Okay, so this is the origin, this is the radius. Now, as you know, the radius is the same length from the center over to the circumference. Okay? Moving on, and I'm going to do the second part, B part. Now, if you have another type of circle, and it hasn't got the center 0, 0, well, then it can be expressed as this is equal to r squared. This is gone, red is gone. So this is x minus h all to be squared. So that means if you've got a circle on your unit set on your x and y axis, you've got a circle, and it's not there, it's there, say. Okay, so the center, this is the center with 0, 0, and this is another one without center 0, 0. Okay, so right, well, let's do a question. So remember, h and k is the center of the new circle without 0, 0. Okay, and then it has the same radius, r squared. Okay, so this is the radius. Right, moving along. Okay, so I'm going to do questions for A. So it says write down the equation of a circle with center 0, 0. Okay, so the center is 0, 0. This is the question now, and it contains the point 3, 4. Okay, now remember this. A lot of these questions are going to interwoven between series 7. Okay, which is the line. Okay, so there's a lot of things very similar, like the midpoint and the slope of a line. So first of all, I have to find the radius length. It goes from this to 3, 4. We'll say this is 3, 4. Well, then I can find a point from there to there, from 0 to 0 to 3, 4. Okay, I can find the distance. Okay, so the first thing I do is I label my points, and the points are x1, y1, x2, y2, and the length of a line is equal to r, which we'll say r is equal to the length of this line is. Do you remember this one? The rule was the square root of x2 minus x1 all to be squared plus y2 minus y1 all to be squared. It's related to Pythagoras theorem. So we just put in our values. Okay, so we really have two values here anyway. x2, which is 3 squared, minus 0 is 3 squared, plus y2, which is 4 squared. 0 we don't include because it's going to be the negative. It's the square root of 25. 3 3s are 9, 4 4s are 16. The square root of 25 is equal to 5. Okay, so we got the radius is equal to 5. We found that by the length of a line. Okay, now the length of a line is in, as I repeated myself, series 7. Okay, now well, we have the length of a line and it's equal to 5, so we just put it into the formula. So the equation of the equation of the circle is equal to x squared plus y squared, because it's got center 0, 0, is equal to r squared, which is equal to 25. Okay, 5 squared is 25. Okay, remember we're following this pattern here. This is the template. Okay, the template for this. And another question I will include with this part B. Find the equation of the circle whose diameter, the line segment joining 5, 1, minus 1 and minus 3, 7. Okay, so what it's saying here is that you have a line. Okay, so it's minus 1. Well, okay, we'll just put it probably out here. Okay, no, it doesn't really fit there. Well, anyway, we'll just I'm not going to draw it out because it's difficult to draw. We'll presume it's there. Okay, so we've got this point here, 5 minus 1. So we've got down here, probably it's going to minus, well anyway. So we've got 5 minus 1. It's not relevant to this, but you can see it's 7. Okay, so this is the center here. So we have to find the midpoint of this line. Okay, or we find the length of the line and then we divide by 2. It's really up to you. Okay, so but I need to find the center of the circle. Okay, so I need to find the midpoint. So I get the midpoint of this line segment. Midpoint is equal to the x's over 2 plus the y's over 2. Okay, the y's over 2. And that's all you're doing. You're having them. So you label your points again. You got x1, y1, x2, y2. You put in your values x1, x2. So it's 5 minus 3 all over 2. And it's y1, which is minus 1, plus y2 plus 7 all over 2. And that's going to be 8, and that's going to be 2. So it's going to be 2 over 2, which is 1. And this is going to be 6 over 2, which is 3. So the midpoint of this line is 1, 3. Okay, if you can visualize it without looking at this. Okay, so that's y and that's x-axis. So the midpoint is 1, 3. Midpoint 1, 3, and you would state that. Okay, so the midpoint is 1, 3, and okay, so now I have to find the length of the radius. Okay, so now I have to find the length of this radius. Okay, so I've got the midpoint. So I've got my circle up here, and I've got my midpoint, which is the point between the length of the diameter. So now I'm going to go back out here. I'm going to find I'm going to go to one of those coordinates. Okay, I'm going to go to the one that looks like it's least problematic, and that's this one here, 5 minus 1. Okay. So I label my points again, and I got x1, y1, x2, y2, and I use the distance formula. So the distance or the length of r is going to be the square root of x2 minus x1 all to be squared plus y2 minus y1 all to be squared. Alright, and I put them in there into the values in, and it becomes out as, so I've got x2 5 minus x1, which is 1, plus y2, which is minus 1, plus y1, which is plus 3. Okay, and it all works out as the square root of 4 plus 2. Oh, these are squared, don't forget. So we got is equal to 16 plus 4 is the square root of 20. Okay, so r is equal to the square root of 20. Okay, so therefore r squared is equal to 20. Okay, and that's it. So r is equal to 20. R is equal to 20. Okay, we can put it in here. R is equal to 20. R squared is equal to 20. Okay. Right. So r is equal to the root 20. I don't mean to confuse you here. Anyway, so we get the equation of the circle. So to find the equation of a circle, we use our formula, equation of a circle. X minus h all to be squared plus y minus k all to be squared is equal to r squared. Okay, and this works out as, so h and k, this now in the midpoint is my center of the circle, which we found by the midpoint formula, hk, and I put them in. So it's x minus 1 all to be squared plus y minus 3 all to be squared is equal to root 20 all to be squared. Okay, which root 20 all to be squared is 20. and you leave it at that, okay? Now you could multiply this out and you have a long formula, and you have a question later on with a long formula in it, and that is exactly how this is expressed, but you leave it at this, okay? So that's the equation of that circle. Okay, right, that's everything, I think, yeah. So let's have a look at the questions. Now the questions. Show that the point 5 minus 1 is outside this circle. Well, all you have to do is prove that the 0, from 0, 0 to 5 minus 1, is the length of the line is going to be less than 20. Okay? Well, less than root 20. Because this is expressed as r squared. Alternatively, you can put these values in and see if they're less than 20 or greater than 20. Okay? Now show that the point. So you would show that. So you've got two options to do it this way. Show that the point 1, 2 is inside the circle. Okay, you can get the length from 0, 0 to 1, 2 and show that it's less than the square root of 8, because this is r squared is equal to 8, r is equal to the square root of 8. The line segment joining 4 minus 1 to 4, 1 is the diameter of a circle. Find the equation of the circle. Okay, find the equation and find the equation of the circle. Get the center point, which is the midpoint, and then you get the length of r from the midpoint to one of these points. I pick this one. Show that, question 4, show that minus 3, 0 is not on the circle. Okay, it's not. Well, if it's not, if you put these values in and it doesn't equal to 0, it means that it's not on the circle. And it's the same for the line, and it's the same for these questions here. Okay? But they might be asked you to prove the distance. Now, you have to know which one they're looking for. Anyway, but you have two options. The point minus 4, 3 is the center of a circle K. If the y-axis is the tangent is a line that cuts the circle at one point. For example, the tangent would have cut it at that point, which means that the length, so it's perpendicular. So you can imagine a lot of things, draw it out and find the equation of K. Alright, so I've helped you with a lot of these here, but this one is a one where you have to use your head. Okay, thank you for that. Bye bye.